Okay, thank you very much. You think education is the only option that Nigeria will have? Now, that will lead me to another question for you, Sarah, and it is the fact that do you think you can tell? Now, let's step outside the book a bit. Okay, do you think you can tell that okay, this is the way? When you have not tested that way. Okay, you are in something. Okay, let's see all of us here. We are students, right? We are going to school. And about supposedly, okay, thank you. And all of us here, we believe that okay, the only way we are going to make it is to what?
Keep your hand down.
Is to make sure that we study hard, we have good grades, and all of that. In fact, let me even paint it this way. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I'm not sure. That guy on TikTok, Bella, he gathered masters for the love of God. I'm not going to lie. I did not watch the video. I didn't open that video, but I'm always on it. So I was able to read a lot of comments concerning it. So I'm not sure whether they are actually masters students, masters holders or not. But the fact is that what trended was the fact that okay, Bella called masters holders for an interview, okay, to interview them and to give them what job was he supposed to give them? Videographers, right? For them to, for how much? 500,000 right? Okay. Now, then a lot of people came out that what kind of nonsense is this? Nigerians, we give popularity, we give prominence to things that are not worth it. That's why someone like Bella can come out and say he wants to. Now, that is from the view that, okay, we think the only way we can make money. Nigerians, what we love is money. Okay, I think we put passion aside a lot. So we think the only way we can make money is through education. And I believe that these people criticizing that boy, trust me, I don't like it. I don't hate him either. So I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Let me put it that way. I'm not a fan. But the point is that, do you think the boy, Pella, do you think the boy is really the problem?
No.
If we look at it very well, no. How many jobs in Nigeria even offer people 500K a month?
Yeah, exactly.
With your masters. Even with your PhD. Yes, how many jobs will pay you 500K per month? Do you understand? But we was willing to do that. But because of the way we see things that okay, the only way to liberation, okay, is education. The only way we can make money is education. We don't think that someone who came to money, who came to fame through doing tap on TikTok, yes, it's not way of talking to us. Do you understand? So do you think it is only one way because education is not work? Do you think if Njoroge did not try something else, if he tried something else that time, do you think they would not work? And I would not want you to look at it from the point of view of Kamal. Okay, because Kamal also as a carpenter didn't do well and something like that. So, how are you going to answer that question? You want to answer the question? Okay, but let Sarah go first.
As I've said earlier, social environment. Then you only see education as when they were saying that okay, if go to school, if you parents that they have someone to school, you'll be proud already. Especially if you look at them that they have someone to school. And they say that okay, if you go to school, you're able to like go to England and work with white man. So then for the social environment. Of course, if his brother was successful at a point, let his first boss and went another place, so and then continue his path. Because he also believed in his own skill. He believed. So if he had been he had left Mahoma rebellion and focused on his skill, then of course he would be successful. So, but then social environment emphasized that education is the way, and as a young child, he followed that.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. Let me try to sum up. I'll try to sum up in 1 minute. Okay, this is it. the same issue, the same issue that we have there is the same issue we have now. Like we felt like I said, there's oppression, and either we like it or not, unknowingly or unconsciously, many of us have eaten everything. Now I want to wear a garment of the education person I actually studied English and education. And with that we did what we call a little bit of psychology. So we use child psychology. Then we get to know of these fruit, sigma fruit theory that has to do with what we call self-defense mechanism. Now, many problems we are trying to contain in this society, especially in developing countries, that they have been stereotypic that okay, the only way to freedom is education. So those that are educated than versus those that are uneducated now see themselves in a common ground or battlefield. If you make it uneducated, they will want to counter those people that make it that does not make it uneducated. You get? So we feel that if you make it uneducated, that's what Taylor did. He tried to call them out that so that he will feel that okay, this your narrative about me is bad. He's trying to use it as a way of defending himself against the social attack that he have been getting lately. So he did it. Many of us we have engaged in different programs, and we see it in our environment too. It's not only Pella that does it. Look at some successful carpenter, successful painters around us that did not go to school and they are making it big time. The next thing they do is what? Talk it down on the education. Now, what Ugi is trying to tell you is that no matter the area you are finding yourself, there is always an opportunity. Don't limit your opportunity stereotypically. Now, in that book, see, Chiburuge has a lot of ways to make it. But all of the fact that he have reduced himself as either education or not. Now, let's bring it from Jacobo. Jacobo is an educated person. And because of the fact that he attained education early, he transcends the realm of every other farmer to become a landowner. Now, in the discussion between Njoroge and Maiwaki make it known to Njoroge that the reason why Africans lose their land is because they are not educated. Now, that have established something for Njoroge. It can as well become an educated, a diplomatic emancipator for the black Africans. All he just have to do is that okay, Maiwaki make it known to Njoroge that my father said it that the reason why many Africans did not have land is because they are uneducated. Now, you have gone to school, you have known that there's something called law, like what we enjoy in Nigeria. Most Kenyans did not do the same thing. They got their education and they feel that once there is no way in this education, then no way. And those few that gain education get it for their selfish interests. Unlike Nigeria, where we have to do diplomatic meetings with the British in order to gain our freedom. The Kenyans believe that okay, when there is no way, it was the uneducated few that roses against these people that established the Mau Mau that we are all talking about in 1953. And it was through this Mau Mau emancipation that they got their freedom. It was through force. Through force, because those people that bring the idea of independence for them, they are those that are combat. They gain it through combat. That's why it was simplified in the book, Boro and CORA. I guess we are those people that started. They were in line with that Mau Mau. If Njoroge have actually put himself forward and tried to like be a bridge between the Kenyans and the whites, I believe there will be a better story for Njoroge himself in the book, and there will be a better story for the black Americans, Africans too in the book. So let us look at those plethora things around us. Don't let us be stereotypical about I want to study doctor. So it's only doctor that can actually liberate me alone. I want to be a pharmacy. You can be a doctor and transcend into the media and solve problems in the media world while being having a doctorate degree. You can be a barrister and enter the classroom and solve Nigerian educational problem while being a certified barrister. That's what he's trying to tell us. There is opportunities in education, there's opportunities outside education.
Thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much, Kenny. My next question will go to, because of our time, we'll go to Amife. And my question to you, are you with me? Thank you. It's about Ngoto, and it's a very brief question. Do you think he's a failed father? Do you think Ngoto is a failed father?
I wouldn't say Ngogo is a failed father. I think he's just a victim of the system he found himself in. And I mean, there's a part of the book that talks about how he was confused in whether, well, not confused, but he was questioning whether him waiting to get his land back from the Howlands one way or another could be seen as inaction. So I think he was lost between whether to be patient for, you know, the everything that was going on to play out, or whether to take action. And that did in turn affect his family, but I don't think he was guilty of anything wrong. He was just a victim of that system. And because he came from a different generation, he believed that in waiting to get his land back, he would actually succeed. And unfortunately, he didn't. Okay.
Thank you very much, Amife. Before I move to the next person, I would like to now ask you another question concerning Ngoto. Do you think the likes of Boro, okay,
Family.
do you think Boro's assertion about his father that I think he said I think he said he's too weak, something around that he's too weak, he's a weakling to deal with the white men and also people like Jacoba and all that. Do you think Boro's assertion is right? And Boro's zeal, okay, to be radical, okay, is zeal to be radical. Do you think it is the right thing to do in the context of that text for Kenyans and the villagers, you know, liberation at that moment?
For something like the British colonial rule, I think in general, there's something about being the first in line for being the first in line for something as damaging to a way of being as colonialism. For instance, I'm going to relate it back to Nigeria. In 2020, when the whole EndSARS movement started, and we're fighting so much for something, well, a lot of Nigerian youth are fighting so much for something that they believe in. There was some talk about how, you know, our generation is more active than the previous generation. We're not going to stand for what is wrong, we're going to stand against corruption. And it's so easy to think that the generation before us did not do enough and did not fight for justice the way we are fighting for. But I think we should point to the fact that there's something more, they're more impacted by what happened here. We are facing the consequences or the results of corruption and greed, but they experienced it in a completely different way from us. And I think the whole point of the whole point of life is that as time goes on, it's almost like revolution is born. So it's not that Ngozo was being intentionally inactive. It's just that the experience he had with this was completely different from what Boro experienced. And Boro came in a different generation that was now miles away from the beginning of British colonial rule. So it's very natural for the younger generation to be more active about something that, fine, they're experiencing the consequences, but they were not the very first victims of that situation. So yes, I think it was easy for Boro to have a lot of zeal, and it's natural that it's someone of his generation that will come with that kind of energy.
Thank you. Round of applause. I think that's a very, very good point, and I think that will take us back to our discussion 2 weeks ago when someone asked that is the fear of our parents. is enough valid enough for them to, be against, we trying to speak against the government and stuff like that. Because I believe maybe they saw, they saw some form of, should I say, high-handedness from this government. So it is that fear, okay, that is still in them, that makes them try to avoid us, from being like that. We can't just say they've not tried, to be honest. We can't just write them off that, okay, they've not done something to make Nigeria a better place. And I even mentioned that day that we can't say they've not done anything. And I cited some of the things they did in the past, that, okay, before we had military government, and we all can say, no matter how we try to spin it, that military government is not the kind of government that anybody wants. Okay? We had that military government. It was this generation before us, it was our parents' generation that took us from their hand to democracy. So that was a form of, a very good fight if you look at it. Okay? So if we bring up our own energy too now to say, okay, we also want to fight against what is going on. We love democracy, right? Democracy is a very good thing. But the way these people are taking it, you can't even speak against the government online. They will start looking for you. I think there was a guy from the north that was arrested during late President Buhari's tenure. How many days now? He's late. He was arrested. I think he abused the first lady that time. He said not really abuse. He said some things about the first lady, and he was arrested. It was some activists who came out to ask for his freedom and also. So we can't say that because we are doing it now, our parents didn't do it in the past. So if you look at it from the lens of Goto and Boro, it is normal for Goto to be like that because he also, saw some things that Boro did not see when he was younger than Boro. And it is also normal for Boro to fight like that, for his people. So that's a very good one from you, Amife. So my next question will go to Oluwatobiloba. And it is the love and class structure that we have in the text. Okay, Njoroge and his girlfriend, Luwaki, yes. One of the things that, stands against them is the fact that they come from different structure of the community. Njoroge's father is someone who works with a landowner, and Jacobo is a landowner himself. And so that means, I think in chapter 2 or chapter 3 when Njoroge just started school, there was a day Luwaki was walking in home. They were walking together and they got to a hill. They were playing until darkness that day when Jacobi came, Njoroge's mother came. And she was like, I don't want to see you with what? With a rich man's daughter. You cannot have anything to do with a rich man's daughter. And foolish Njoroge even blamed Luwaki because his mother was angry. Because the fact that you cannot be seen with this person, you can only be seen with this person. I think it's something like that is also happening today. Okay, there are some people that you can marry. You cannot lie to yourself. As a guy, okay, I think even ladies even have the opportunity to even like marry up. And it is not all the time. Don't let me lie to you, it's not all the time. But I think they have the upper hand most of the time. But for we guys, bro, there's no hope for you. To be honest, there's no hope for you. What is it? Love conquers all. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you to some extent, but my sister, let's not lie to ourselves. Okay, and something is currently trending online. I think who just released? I think Otedola just released the book. What's the title? I've forgotten. But I saw it online. And someone was now making it big. So someone was now commenting on X that, see, we should stop reading what these people are writing for us. Yeah, it is not our business to start reading their work. We cannot really understand They try to come down to us, but they can't get it. They can't. And the person was not giving examples that see, there's class structure in Nigeria. There are some people that you can only look up to them. It is only if you work hard that you can see from their point of view. And even you're working hard there, they are still ahead of you because they met this thing at home. Do you understand? The person now gave an example of Dangote. So Dangote's grandfather was very rich. No, that was him. That one was his uncle. The one that just died was his uncle. Bro, do you know what it means that they want to? You died. I think he died in Dubai. Because they wanted to transport him to Saudi Arabia. That's not something anyhow person can do, and they achieved it. They said his dad was that anytime he dies, he wants to be buried in Medina. That's a city in Saudi Arabia. That's where Prophet Muhammad is buried. So he also wants to be buried there, and he achieved that. That's Dangote's uncle. Do you understand? He also gave an example of this guy, Davido's manager, Ashita. That he comes from a very family. Do you understand? That Mr. Easy getting engaged to Temi Otedola. It's not as if Mr. Easy is from Mushi. Mr. Easy's father was Minister of Aviation in Nigeria. When you look at Mr. Easy, you will think Mr. Easy is one guy from Oshodi. Mr. Easy left Nigeria at the age of, I think, 16 or 17 to study in Ghana. I think he was studying engineering. He was studying in one university in Ghana, engineering. Then, when he was in his third year, he switched to music. That same year, he started performing in school. You know how many times your friends have been trying to perform in New Zealand and there's no opportunity for them? Do you understand? So, now, my question to you, Oluwatobi, I think you've been able to set the context for Njoroge and Miyake. And what was the failed relationship between Njoroge and Miyake revealed about the social and class divisions created by colonial rule? What was the failed relationship? The relationship failed. Okay, failed, hopefully. So, what was the failed relationship between Njoroge and Miyake revealed about the social and class divisions created by colonial rule?
So, from what you have been able to explain in context, what does he explain about trade relationship? What does he explain talking about what the colonial was, right? So, let's come to our own environment first, which is Nigeria. So, there is something about school of thought, and there's another thing about the reality. So, you can be thinking it can work, and it is not really going to work. In terms of relationships, there are a lot of factors that can actually come in before a relationship succeeds or before the relationship fails, right? In Nigeria now, we have a lot of factors. We have the religious factor, we have the tribal factor, we have the social factor. But the one we are actually focusing on is the social factor. And if we look back in time to what we have been able to gather through history about colonialism in Nigeria as settled, look at the fact that the colonists are way ahead of the people they are colonizing, right? There was this popular movie recently, Initial B. So we saw that the Lario were very wicked people, right? And the backstory of that particular day is that the Lario also have to do that. So they're way ahead of them, and they need to like give feedback to. So if I am the lady, I am bringing home to an husband, and the husband I am bringing is someone that's not even working on the place of father. So that is actually a big factor. I actually cannot blame the parents per se. So why would I not blame the parents? You know, a lot of parents didn't just make it. They didn't just get there, right? So they struggle. I'm not even talking about way rich people, because way rich people, we're talking about $10, Dangote, and other things. But we have the middle class in Nigeria, and they still get to decide for you that you cannot marry this person, you cannot marry this person. even we that we are on the other end of what Nigeria looks like now, our parents will categorically tell you that I do not want you to witness what I witnessed. You understand? So if I do not want my child to witness what I witnessed, it's very much okay for me to decide who gets to marry. Because we are looking at the reality of things. Now, you are bringing home an husband that earns 100K and the responsibility you guys are going to be putting over the years around 2.5 million. So it's not realistic. But then we look at the end goal, what could actually happen in the future. And they giving you my blessings. But to still come with some sort of support from my own end. So the essence is that they are trying to like protect what is theirs. And making sure you'll be okay after the leave. I mean, the legacy for which behind is actually what matters.
Thank you very much, Fubilova. And on the issue of the family context, okay, the family is trying to protect their child and something like that. I would like to ask Adiola a question concerning that. In the world today, okay, we youths of nowadays, we try to, prove that, okay, we can think for ourselves. So they can't even choose who to marry for you, especially the ladies. The ladies always want to be the ones to pick who they marry. That is true like that. Do you understand? Who they marry, who they date, and stuff like that. Even if your mom, if you get to my mom tells you, Adiola, there is this my friend's son, and I would like you to marry. Like, mommy, no. Even if the guy is okay, you'll be like, mommy, no. I'm old enough. I can think for myself. Do you understand? So yes, that's what we do these days. Okay. So now my question to you, Adiola, based on what Oluwatobi Biloba here said concerning the issue of family structure and everything, do you think Milwaukee as a person, okay, as an individual, would have changed the course of Njoroge's fate? Or was their love always doomed by history and family ties? Do you think if
if Mwaki has proved that yes, I'm going to marry, I'm going to be in a relationship with Ngoke, if things will change, because almost think that
this is in our spot.
It won't come, because if you have this assurance that yes, there is a companion with me, there's a companion with me to work with me everywhere. So if Mwaki has stand that yes, I'm going to be in a relationship with Ngoke, many things will change. Because for him to even think about killing himself, he would not have think of that. Because they said in the book that he always talk to her. Yes, he always tell her things. So yes, Nwaki has stood that stand that I'm going to be in a relationship with Ngoke. Things will change, and it will not be the way like it was.
how the man see it? Yeah. So I would like to the question again, but in a different way. That okay, as a lady, you want to be family. Okay, then you want to marry someone who is not, whose family, is not as rich as yours. Okay, and your parents are against it. Do you understand? Do you think you have the power to influence their decision to marry that person? Despite the fact that he raised a very good point. He raised very good points that the person you want to get married to, okay, let's say you are from a home where, let's not lie to ourselves, okay, you are from a home where you guys, you have everything, like almost everything, okay, but the person you want to get married to cannot even afford to, let's say, hire a maid for you. So, do you think you have that influence, okay, to convince your parents enough to let you marry that person from the context of Njoroge and Nwaki?
Yeah, I would say so, because I've seen a lot of cases both in the fictional world and the non-fictional world where someone who loves another person, despite the other person not having the social or economic status, succeeds at being with that person at any cost. So it could have been a case where even without her parents' consent, the wife could have succeeded at being with either. So people elope just because they love each other. So it's not supposed to influence your parents' decision on that. And if your parents don't agree, you can pretty much do whatever you like. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much to all the panelists. If you like, if you use your eyes to carry me off, I'm not giving it much. All right, I would like to take questions from the audience. How many questions? If you have a question, please, let's see your hand. 1, 2, okay, a comment. Okay, 10 more comments are going to come. Let's take questions first. Okay, 1, 2. Do we just have to? Okay. So your name? You can go first.
So good afternoon, everyone. So my question is going to the moderator. So regarding the job, yeah, and the fact that they had like more. So you said something about guys not being able to marry off. So my own like little question or little is, guys not being able to marry off, is it a case of ego? Sometimes like situation. Because you see guys saying, oh, I can't ask my wife for this, I'm supposed to be like this, when normally she's happy for but just because of that egoistic masculinity that we put it that way. The man is supposed to do this. So he's like, oh no, I can't let my wife do it, and then fights and problems come up. So the question is, don't you think it's men's ego that makes them not being able to
Sorry, what's your name? Genevieve, thank you very much. I don't know if this sounds backward in any way, but it is the man's duty as sister to provide. So it is normal for a man to have that ego. That I can't. No, your wife can help. Yes, I subscribe to that. Your wife can help. But when you now make your entire existence, your life as a man, as a husband at home, you cannot do anything, okay, until your wife comes back. That's not a good sign, no matter how you want to spin it. Do you understand? And even as a lady, you may feel like, oh, I can do it. It's my wife, it's my husband. It's for love. But it will get to a point that you get tired of it. So it is not about the ego alone. The ego is part of it. Okay? I'm trying to paint it that the ego is not really a bad thing like that. Do you understand? It's not really a bad thing like that. It is there and it is part of it. But we were looking at that point from the context of the family structure. Okay, that okay, even your family as a lady may not allow you to do something like that. And even if and what they are trying to avoid is you getting married to someone who cannot take care of you. You ladies want to be taken care of now. Abi, you want to be taken care of now. Abi, that's the point. That's the point. So they are trying to avoid you getting involved with someone who cannot take care of you. Do you understand me now? So when that comes to play, and they are also trying to protect the man's ego. They are trying to protect the man's ego because they know that if you get married and he is falling short of his expectations as a man, do you understand? It could lead to so many things. Frustration. Do you understand? It could even lead to, sorry? The break of the marriage. Because men like that, they may even start beating you up. They may start beating you up when they can't provide. It leads to frustration. And ladies, you realize, if you man up, your life cannot remain like this. Do you understand? I like to reference Twitter too much. I would like to make another reference in Twitter. Something happened last month or 2 months ago, a guy posted what his girlfriend told him, that, bro, you're just playing ball around. I'm not even asking you, I'm not asking you for money to take care of me. I'm not asking you for money to give me food and everything. Just to look good. You make some money and look good for yourself. The lady was telling the guy like that. That makes some, you cannot, football in Nigeria is not, it's not really a dream that you should be pursuing like that. Learn a skill or something and make some money for yourself. That's a girlfriend. And the guy posted it on Twitter that, almost see what my girlfriend is telling me. My life has ended. I cannot make it in life again. Ladies will shame you. Ladies will do that. He was expecting guys to come and start, insulting the lady for him. Bro, he did not expect the kind of insult he received. That all this one time, this one is telling you the truth. This one is not even bringing you. She's not asking you for money for skincare. She's not asking you for money for lashes, for all those things, all those nonsense that all those things that they do. sorry, I'm sorry about that. All those things that they do. She's just telling you that make some money for yourself. Do you understand? So we cannot put that ego aside. We cannot put it aside because it's the reality. Okay, it is every man's. You're supposed to have it. As a man, you're supposed to what? You're supposed to have it. And I said it initially that I don't know if that makes me sound, backward. I don't know, but that's just the way. That's just my position on it. Okay, that's my position. Another person might have another, comment concerning that. The second question. Thank you.
Sir, don't worry. Your number was switched off. Okay. The brother sent it to me, but what's the law? Good.
Okay, my name is Jampolu Agote. I do religion, that's the fun. So yeah, I listening to this discussion, keep hearing back and forth about education, about how the way education was presented as the only hope at the end. Is it your coach or is it not being good coach? Yeah. So like we now present it as we present it in a way where it seems like there were other opportunities and then he only seems to want to pursue education and then that's not supposed to be the only way. I mean that's how it has been presented here. Okay, yeah, but now in psychology there's a thing we talk about something known as nature and nurture, right? The environment sometimes shapes the way we think. It affects our mentality, it affects what we actually want to even become or what we actually want to pursue. I mean, it makes us see the end to some things. Like you be like, okay, when you do this thing, the chances of making it here are actually slim. When you do this thing, the chances here, you have a better chance than this one. And then so, now what's Indorogi actually does, was it solely education or enlightenment? Right now, with little understanding from discussions I've witnessed, we seem to present both education and enlightenment in the same light. Now, is it bad for him to want to know more? I mean, to be eager in the quest for knowledge? I mean, that seems like it presents a chance to amount to something. That's Indorogi. So he wants to learn more. It seems like a flicker of hope. Because at the point where they are, many other things don't actually seem like the viable option. They don't seem like they actually present the better opportunity. So how wrong would it be for him to actually want to pursue that education so how do I put it, so gallantly, especially to sister no, the one before the last lady, is it Happiness? Adiola, yes. She kept talking about education. You also mentioned something about education, so whoever wants to answer it.
Sorry, I remember when I was laying down the premises, I forgot to go back to the topic of education. Without, as I've actually said, the controversy. Now, like I said, we are restricting the concept of education as in like the ideology of even Africa, the society itself. We restrict the idea of education to be a formal education. And go of the fact that Igoroge was a victim of restricting education to only being formal. So the moment I cannot get anything formal education, it becomes I'm being grateful and that's the end of my life. But education transcends this thing beyond formal education. Like I said, there is formal education, there is informal education. And informal education is what you're talking about, which is enlightenment. If he had gone with the real enlightenment, like the ideology of enlightenment that comes with the informal education. Informal education for those that are layman, let me say you are not an education person. Informal education is that thing that you get in your environment. Those education you get from the environment, like you say you want to skill law, all these kind of skill law programs and the like that you engage in, that partly is semi-formal education or informal education. So education transcends beyond the four corners of the classroom. The one you gain in the four corners of the classroom is what you call the formal education. So majority have actually become a victim of that believes that education can only be attained in the four corners of the classroom. And it does not think, that's why you say think outside the box. What you probably mean is like think beyond the formal realm. Do you get? So if Ndoroge think beyond the formal corners, the four corners of this world, you have seen the plethora of opportunities that are waiting in the environment. For example, like I said, the Mawaki issues raised was the fact that there is something that comes with being educated. You can say no to certain things for being educated. So, okay. So, what Ndoroge will have done better is that if you look at, okay, this is the small thing I've garnered so far. What can I do with that small thing I have garnered to better my society? Like the purpose of going for that, like I said when I was giving a quote, was that we chase after a dream so much so that we lose ourselves on the chase or the quest of that goal. Now, if he had remembered that, okay, the sole purpose of me engaging in education or these enlightenment programs I'm engaging myself into is for my family and not just for myself alone, they would have said that, okay, if it does not work this way, I want to better my family. And now, the need of my society is now moving beyond going to forward, but for peace and progress. It is not even about the Mao war now and everything. It's for peace and progress. If he had fashioned the little education he has garnered and look at how can it bring peace and progress to my society, which in return will restore my family, land and everything, which is the sole purpose of me going on this quest of enlightenment. He would have gotten what he had got. But I felt he lost himself in the quest, so much so that he was blinded by the formal chains that comes around you chasing formal education.
Is there another applause? Please.
I'm too low now.
Fully is giving me some kind of wine that you like.
I blow you. Let's go.
All right. Sorry, you have a question? A comment. Okay. We are going to take the last question because we take the two comments from Peter and Joy. Yeah.
Try to my best comment.
I'm not from your seat today, so I think I'm free to ask my question. Okay, to be fast with it. So I think this session I think this is the third episode, right? So I had a glimpse of the reading